Welcome to the Incubeta GA4 series. Today, we'll be teaching you how to understand attribution reports in GA4. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Jacqueline, and I am an analytics specialist with Incubeta South Africa. In today's demo, we will cover what is attribution and the value it can add to your business. We will learn how to configure attribution for GA4 reports, and we'll understand how attribution works within GA4. What is attribution? Attribution assigns conversion credit to different ads, clicks, and events occurring on a user's path to completing a conversion. An attribution model can be a rule, a set of rules, or a data-driven algorithm that determines how credit for conversions is assigned to touchpoints on conversion paths. For GA4, we focus on cross-channel last click, ads preferred last click, and data-driven attribution. Other attribution models like first click, time decay, and position-based will be sunsetted by September, and already now any newly created properties will not be able to select these models. Data-driven attribution creates an attribution model that is unique to your business. It makes use of path data from both converting and non-converting paths to understand how the presence and timing of marketing touchpoints impacts the user's probability of conversion at any particular point in the path. Data-driven attribution assigns credit based on how the addition of each ad to the path changes conversion probability. Advertisers who switch to DDA typically see a 6% average increase in conversions. Here in this diagram, you can see that by including all touch points, we saw an increase in conversion probability or a 50% incremental impact. How do different models compare with data-driven attribution? In the diagram here, we see that the last click model assigns 100% credit to the final touch point for the conversion. In the linear model, we see that equal credit is distributed among all touch points before the conversion. With the data-driven model, we see that it assigns different credit values by incorporating factors such as time from conversion, device type, ad interactions, order of ad exposure, and type of creative assets. This allows us to get a better understanding of the performance of our campaigns by allowing fair credit allocation throughout the funnel and not only to lower funnel or last click touchpoints. So more precise insights for optimization will ultimately drive performance. So without further ado, let's get into our demo. Today we'll make use of the GA4 Google Merchandise Shop for our demo. We'll start with the admin section. If you go to the admin section at the bottom of your screen, we will reach the property settings of our GA4 account. So users with the editor role on the property can select an attribution model and look back window at the property level to apply to a number of reports. And to access this setting, we go to our attribution settings. Remember that when you change your model, it affects revenue and conversion data. Without conversion setup, deriving meaningful insights from attribution reports will be impossible. To access this setting, go to Admin Events. We are in our admin section, so we go to our events section. Here we can see all our events and that they are collecting data. To preview all conversions or to add a new conversion event, go to Admin Conversions. We are in the Admin section, Conversions. Here, we can see all the events that we have marked as conversions. With the right permissions, you'll be able to toggle these blurred out buttons to set them as conversions or to remove them from being conversions. You may also do that in the Events section. Back in our attribution settings, the reporting attribution model is the model that is used to calculate conversion credit in your reports within the analytics property. Changing this attribution model will apply to both historical and future data. These changes will be reflected in reports with conversion and revenue data. User and session data will be unaffected. If we scroll further down, you can see that you have access to your conversion windows. Conversions can happen days or weeks after a person interacts with your ad. The look-back window determines how far back in time a touchpoint is eligible for attribution credit. For example, the 30-day look-back window will result in January 30th conversions being attributed only to touchpoints occurring between the 1st of January and the 30th of January. Changing the look-back window will only apply going forward. These changes will be reflected in all reports within this analytics property. Just to recap, the reporting attribution model can affect historical data. The look-back window will only apply going forward. Moving on, we look at our first report, which is the snapshot report. We find these in the exploration section, in the advertising section. If we click on advertising, moving on to our snapshot report, we click on advertising. Here we see our snapshot report. This report provides a window view to more detailed reports and could also house custom automated insights on your campaign and channel performance. Many businesses have conversions set up for both performance and engagement related events. Remember that you can filter events if you want to group your analysis accordingly. Here we have all our events selected. If you'd like to focus on specific conversion events, you can deselect them all and select whichever events are most applicable to you. Moving on to the performance report. Under performance, we have our all channels. This report helps us analyze revenue and return on ad spend for channels and campaigns. The graph shows channel performance over time so that we can determine when certain channels may have performed better, and also an aggregate view of conversion performance per channel. Without linking products with GA4, you will not see cost data pulling through to the main table. Note that you can change from channel as a default primary dimension to campaigns, as well as add secondary dimensions. We are going to add a filter and select this dimension. Let's select country, and you can select whichever countries you'd like to focus on, or you can focus on one. and apply. Right. So with this report, you can see which channels hold the greatest potential to fuel our growth and maximize return on investment. Moving on to the next report, under attribution, we have the model comparison report. This report allows us to compare campaign performance using various attribution models and assess how each model impacts the value of their marketing channels. This is useful when launching a new media platform or a big awareness campaign. Some things to note: our reporting time up here. Currently, our reporting time equals conversion time. We can toggle this. If you click here, we can toggle this to interaction time. The difference being conversion time includes all events within the specified lookback window that ultimately result in a conversion that occurs within the date range you selected. Interaction time includes all events that occur within the date range you selected. If the date range is too close to the present time, for example today, the total conversion counts may differ between the two models. You will notice that when you toggle between the two, conversion time will include more data. So we'll leave it with conversion time. Again, a reminder that you can select which conversions or events you would like to focus on. With this report, we can see what valuable insights we are overlooking with a single touchpoint analysis. If we expand, we will see, if we change our dimension to campaign, we will see certain terms pop up. For example, not set. Not set is a placeholder name that analytics uses when it hasn't received any information for a dimension you have selected. For example, manually tagged URLs could be missing a parameter like campaign source or medium. Direct is the value that analytics uses when there's no path data for which to credit the conversion. For example, data import. Unattributable means that analytics was unable to assign credit for the dimension you have selected. And for our final report, the conversion paths. The conversion paths report provides a view of where channels fall along the customer journey. Top paths, conversion lag, and path length. It allows us to visualize which channels initiate, assist, and close conversions, especially with DDA. The data table shows you the paths user takes to complete conversions, as well as the following metrics: conversions, purchase revenue, days to conversion, and touch points to conversion. At first glance, it looks like a lot of the journeys have single channel touch points. But when expanding the data, we can see that this is not the case. If we go to our rows per page, let's expand it to maybe 100 rows. We can see that the more information we include, we can see that we have various touch points included. Path length can be adjusted to include all touch points or any number of touch points you wish to see for your analysis. Let's increase the rows per page as we have done already. Maybe let's do it to 250 this time just to get more data. Okay, that's great. Let's see. And then let's filter for a path length greater than 4. We go to our path length is all touch points. Let's add a filter. So the path length filter is best applied to a specific audience by isolating a journey or landing page you want to analyze. So let's filter for landing page equals to Google redesign clearance. So we select our dimension of landing page. We can either scroll down or type. Here we go. And the value. So we pick a specific page, maybe, that we're looking at for our campaign. Let's say redesign clearance and apply. Here we can see what the specific campaign touch points have been. We can also change our primary dimension to source. In our conversions by default channel group, we can see the various sources at the different touch points. And that is how we include a filter for a specific page or campaign by adding our filters here. Right. So that is a look at all our GA4 attribution reports within the advertising section. Some interesting ways on how to use attribution reports in your analysis. You can use these to inform your media mix, or to inform your budget allocation, and to see what impact brand campaigns have on performance. Make sure to add business data to GA4 to be able to see things like return on ad spend. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you would like more training on GA4, please do get in touch with us for more information or watch our other videos in the GA4 series.